Hey guys, LongHaul Larry, Big Blue, and we are sitting in Mount Crawford, Virginia, and I'm back in my bunk area because I'm having an issue with an APU, and I know you guys are probably going, didn't you just like fix 3 APUs over the last couple days? Yes, I did. I fixed 3 other truck APUs, and then mine didn't work. And I came down to Mount Crawford and got that speedy load at White Wave Foods, only 4.5 hours. And I was surprised it was that fast, actually. But got loaded, and there was a Thermo King place right down the road, and my boss said, hey, these guys have been really good to me, and they've taken care of stuff. Let's get your truck in there, and let's figure out what this problem is. It seemed like it was a fuse or something, but I checked every single fuse, and I could not do it. I even reset the APU to clear all the codes and everything, and got that all done, and it just wouldn't do anything. And what it was doing is, this is what I wanted to show you. What it was doing is when I turn it on, I have the new style, the Thermo King, the Evolution APU. And what I was doing is, if you turn this on, how you turn it on, just press this button and hold it, and then it will, this little light here will start to flash, this little air conditioning symbol, or if you want the fan or the heat or whatever, and then a little standby light will come on over here, and then to turn it on you just turn the fan up and that kicks everything on. What was happening is I would turn it on and all the lights would just kind of flash for a second, and then a little standby light over here would go red and then slowly dim and then disappear. And if I turned the fan on, it would just go off completely. And I did not have a clue. So I went to there and tried to get it in, but they couldn't get me in today. And my boss was like, see if you can talk him into it. And so I talked to the mechanic for a couple minutes, and he's like, did you check the fuse? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I checked every fuse. And he goes, no, the big one behind the air cleaner. I never knew it was there. I never knew this fuse was there. So I'm going to show you guys where it is and what happened to it, and I'm going to show you the kit that I bought to fix it. So let's get to it. Alright guys, well, I actually still have the cover off of this thing, and because the water pump, I'm going to have to change out the water pump, and it was more important for me to get the work done on the other trucks because they couldn't, you know, otherwise they'd have to go to a shop. Mine I can do whenever, so you know, maybe tomorrow, next day, whatever, I can change out the water pump. So I just left the cover off it, and it actually was beneficial this time. So I'll show you what he said. He said to check the fuse, and I was like, okay. And right here's a fuse relay right down here. So I opened this up, and he's like, did you check the big fuse? And I'm like, okay. And I pulled this out. Well, this is a 5 amp fuse. I'm like, that ain't a big fuse. And so I sat there looking around, and I don't know, maybe I was a little naive or something, a little silly or something, but I saw these wires going through it, and I was thinking, why do these wires go through this block? And I was kind of thinking this was like a bumper or something for the cover or something, you know, something hooks up underneath here to keep the cover down and all this stuff. And then I thought, I'm going to take this apart. And so I did. And I'll show you what's inside. So it's a 10 millimeter wrench, and oh, let's see here, 3, 4, 6. I think it's a 5/32 Allen. And there's a washer on the bottom, so make sure you don't drop that. And I pull this apart, and lo and behold, ta-da! There's an actual wire inside there. And this thing looks, I didn't realize it, but this cover comes off of here. And then this big fuse was on here. and it's a 50 amp fuse. And the fuse is actually not even blown. But this is all melted and everything else, so, and you can see inside here, this is all melted too. So, that's not good. Big Blue almost got on fire. So, that's a 50 amp fuse that I found, and I, which makes sense, because when you hit the power on it, it's trying to turn it on, but it had a loose connection here. You can see how it's all corroded and stuff. And it was probably like just drawing a little bit of current and then not enough to actually do anything. So that's what was going on. So I talked to the guy and I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking, you know, get some deal with some crimps or something like this and put a new 50 amp, get a new junction or something, a new 50 amp fuse. And the mechanic was like, what you need to do is you need to change over to wire harness. And I was like, oh, you don't know long haul Larry and wiring. We don't like it. and I said, well, what's it look like? And he came out with this box. And this is the part number. It's 40-1331 Thermo King. And I got this right here from Mount Crawford, Virginia. And right here it is. He came out with the box and I'm like, dude, that's a big box for that little fuse. But it's actually a new wire right here. And this end here is going to go down to the alternator, and then this other end is going to hook right onto this wire. And it has a 50 amp fuse inlaid right into here. And so this is something, they said that they have a lot of problems with this, that these corrode. And they said usually, and I said, well, I could just change a fuse. And they said usually if this happens, you have to change out the wire harness. And they couldn't get to me till tomorrow, so, and plus, since I found it, I wouldn't pay a shop anyways, you guys know that. But what comes in a kit is this here bracket, and I'm thinking it mounts something like this. I'll look at the directions. But it mounts up here something like this, and keeps it away from everything. Comes with 2 zip ties that have deals that plug into there. And then it comes with a shorter bolt than what I had there. No nut and washer, so I guess I'll be reusing those. Comes with a little crimp deal and some heat shrink tubing. Real simple. This kit was $115 is what the kit cost. And I hate to say this because I know the parts guy is going to be watching this, because I actually ended up, while I was buying this, I met a subscriber. He came in there, he's like, I know you. And I started laughing. He's like, Long Haul Larry, and we talked. So, hey Edward, how you doing? But then the parts guy was like, what? And I told him, I got a YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. And then he wrote it down, and he's like, and I says, yep, and guess what? This is gonna be a video right here. And he started laughing, he goes, cool. Now I can go online and see how to install this. He was being sarcastic. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is pulling the cover off at the bottom of here. It's just got the 2 bolts on each side. So you guys have seen me do that. So I'll take this cover off at the bottom of here, because I'll have to get to the alternator down there. And then pull this wire completely out. This one will come out of here. And I'll attach the end with this here onto the alternator, and I'll feed that wire up through there. And once I get to there, then all I gotta do is cut the old wire right here and hook up that one and mount it, and we'll be done, ready to go. All right guys, here's the wire that we need to take off. This, not this one here, but the one behind it. It's this one right here. And it kind of coils up and it runs right alongside the back of this heat shield that protects it from the muffler back here. So basically I just got to cut some zip ties and separate these two and feed this wire up. Now these two up here are going to be a booger, I can tell you already. There's not a lot of room. I'm thinking once I get this one cut that I can get to. That I can get to kind of. I got it. Yep. And the other one up. There we go. I'll be able to break. And there's our wire. So now I'll just feed my new wire down, put all new zip ties, feed it all down here. So I kind of need to know where to cut that wire over here. So I think I'm going to mount this. I can set it up there and know exactly where I want to cut this wire. I see. That's the bent tabs are so they sit right against that heat shield. Go. And so I'm guessing that the 50 amp fuse is inside of here now. It's probably one of those round tubular ones. It's all nice and taped up. I really don't feel like pulling it apart. Trying to see if I can peek in here. Yeah, I really can't see inside. So we're just gonna leave it alone. But it's gonna sit right here just like this. So I'm gonna look down, look at this. So we could actually cut this right about here. Yeah. Thing is a so we can even go a little lower. Right there. Better off to cut it off in small increments. And to cut too much, they don't sell too many wire stretchers. Perfect. There we go. That's good. Alright guys, so we got these wires all stripped back. Now I'm just going to put some heat shrink tubing that came with the kit. Put it on there. Just slide it up on there. And I'm going to put some of my truck light wire corrosive GL stuff on there. So maybe keep a little bit of corrosion from happening. And then what we're basically going to do is just feed both wires into here. Into this little crimp kit. And I believe usually when you get the bigger crimps like this, here we go, it's hard to collapse them. But let's give it a try. This is a cheap pair of wire crimpers. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, just got to put a little oomph into it. Oh yeah, that's good and crimped. So we're going to put a little bit more corrosive stuff on here. Kind of fill this up in here. Just like so. Try to tuck it all in nice and neat. And I don't have a little hand torch with me, so we'll just use a lighter. Here we go. Lighter's hot now. So now we got our heat shrink on there. It's all connected. Got these really cool little deals. They have this thing that pushes right into the end here. Just like so. So it gives you a point to zip tie to them. It's pretty cool. Turn them so they're like so. There we go. We got our new fuse in there. I gotta grab some zip ties so I can start zip tying that wire going down. Alright, we got our wire all fed up here. Got it zip tied along that heat shield. And we got our other main power wire hooked on there. And just putting some anti-corrosive material on there so it keeps some of this corrosion from happening. Now let's put all our washers back on and our little nut. By the way, while I'm doing this, it is April 1st. And you guys know what that means, right? That's right, it's April Fool's Day. So in the last video, I made a comment that I was going to be doing a circle, I'm going to Wisconsin, then I'm going to go into Texas, and this and that. And then there's going to be a brand new Volvo waiting for me when I get back here. I'm switching trucks. Did you guys actually think I was going to do that? So there you go, April Fool's Day. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right in Big Blue. And get one of those Volvos with those beeping sensors and all that. No way. Here we go. Just gonna put one more zip tie around here. Just keep this wire from wiggling around and fraying against that heat shield. There we go. That's good. Nothing touching. Alright. I just need to get my little snippers so I can cut off the zip ties. Alright guys, let's see if she works. We haven't got Johnny over here. Johnny the chicken's excited to see if it works or not. Here we go. Turn it on. Oh ho ho, that's a good sign, boys and girls. Turn up our fan. Let's see what it does. I know there's gonna be questions what this is. This is a remote for my inverter. There goes my fan. That's good. I could turn my inverter on and off just by pushing this button, and it turns my inverter off. And if it gets too low voltage, it automatically kicks it off. You should always have something like this in one of your inverter in these trucks, because if you drop the voltage too low, you're going to damage your batteries. So that's what this is. It's just a little thing. It has like a little telephone cable or something running down to the inverter. It plugs in there. So the fan is on. It's probably taking a little bit longer than usual because I think it has to like do a whole system check and everything, because I just put power to the whole system. There she goes. Oh, there's a good sound. Air is coming out, cool air is coming out, and it's running. Let's go check it out. There we go, she's working again. So there you guys go. So if you have your panel, hey, stop that. So if your panel inside your truck, if your lights are like, when you turn it on, if they go kind of dim, they flash or just go to kind of dim, you're probably losing power someplace. And I didn't know this, but there was a fuse underneath. All that I saw was this sticking out. I actually thought it was like a rubber stop or something for the cover. But it's actually a cover that slips off, and there's a 50 amp fuse in there. And the guys at Mount Crawford Thermo King told me, the mechanic there told me, this happens a lot, and every time it happens, you pretty much have to replace that wire harness. Not very difficult, what you saw. I just did it right in the parking lot here. Not too difficult. So there you guys go. So I hope everyone out there is having themselves a great day, great night, as they're watching this here video. If you are not, well, you certainly can try that all over again tomorrow. So again, the part number of this wire harness is Thermo King's 40-1331. There you go. See ya. I gotta go wash my hands and get back to work.